do is called a community circle. And this circle is a great relationship building circle with your students. You're going to find, let's do the circle and then we'll debrief the circle when we're done. All right, so if you prefer dogs to cats, take 2 steps forward. Hello, Cozy Circle. Well, I used to be a cat person growing up, but I'm now a dog person. And I just got the cutest little puppy 2 weeks ago, Chrissy, and we just love him. Does anybody else want to share why they stepped in?
I'm allergic to cats. I have 3 little dogs.
Aww.
Little ones. I don't like the way cats say.
Did you read the article that your cat's coming after you? Is that why? Anyone else?
I like how personal dogs are, that they get excited when you walk in the door and they want to snuggle with you and you're their favorite person.
They're happy to see you.
Yes, no matter what.
Anyone else? All right, let's take 2 steps back. Our next question is, if you prefer Eno's Pizza over Domino's Pizza, take 2 steps in. Who wants to share why you chose Eno's over Domino's?
Thin crust.
The square beyond compare. All right, 2 steps back. If you have ever made a lasting relationship with a family or a student you have worked with throughout your career, please take 2 steps forward. So I had the opportunity to be a looping teacher for a long time, and I actually had a class for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and that particular class is now, they are juniors in college, and I just got invited to a holiday party this past December to that family's house, and still just keep in touch with that family, and I just feel so connected to them. I feel like that particular class in general and my own children. So who else has a story about a family they want to share?
There was one family that their son was a really good gymnast, and so it was before I had kids that I would go and watch them at meets and stuff, and they still send me things like about him, just like a Christmas card. And so even though I don't see him anymore, but it just neat to get that communication on what he's doing and where he's at. So.
I felt honored when I got invited to a bar mitzvah for one of my former students. So that was really exciting. And I went, and it was really great. Yeah. My favorite. I just went to one of my kindergartners' graduation parties last May, so it was exciting. She didn't know, her mom hadn't told her, but she's like, I recognized your voice as soon as I heard it because you always patted my back. But, yeah. It was actually, I teach privately as well, and I was teaching 2 girls and their sisters, and then the 3rd sister taking with me, so I was teaching 3 sisters, and they took with me for a few years, and then they lived pretty far off, but they'll still call me about what's going on when they have performances and invite me along and send me cards in the mail, and they call me their aunt.
Aww, that's awesome. Okay, let's take 2 steps back. If you have reservations about restorative practices, take 2 steps forward. Wow. Convinced us. You were very compelling. Yeah. For me, I still have reservations, even though I feel like I'm living it every day, because it is such a journey, especially with our kids. Some of them I've done a lot of restorative work with, and I'm still waiting for that moment with that student.
I think it's like any practice, you worry about your effectiveness in using restorative practices. You know, is it effective, or am I doing it correctly? So,
I guess I don't really have reservations.
No.
A lot of
That's yeah.
Well, now that you're mentioning it, it could be a wonderful practice, but I think that, as all individuals with different personalities, like it might not be the practice that works for us. Maybe there's another system that works better for us, and so, but I don't know enough about it.
Let's take 2 steps back. One more question. If you've ever regretted a consequence that you gave a student, take 2 steps forward. So, one of our students made the decision to suspend him, and after having a conversation with the parents, I really regretted that decision, and I had suspended that student a lot before, so it's been kind of a knee-jerk reaction in a way. So okay, want to share?
Sure.
I
was just thinking sometimes, if you have the same student who keeps doing things over and over again, you're quicker to step in and give a consequence as opposed to seeing each situation individually. And so, because your patience wears down, so sometimes afterwards I'm like, okay, I probably should have held off a little bit.
About what's not happening anymore. Like it might work for a little bit, and it's not working.
I found some of the opposite, lack of giving consequences. Because as the counselor, I feel like we're always looking at that other angle. And so I feel like as administration, I feel like we work well together regarding the cop, bad cop kind of thing. It's just always looking at that bigger picture and that other angle.
I feel the same way as you. I always feel like I don't
So
do
find it
enough.
right?
If I did more, then things would be different. But I try to give them the benefit of the doubt.
2 steps back, and we're going to talk about this restorative practice. It's called a community circle, but I'm going to let you guys have a seat at your table so you can sit down, and we'll reflect on what we just did and how you might be able to use this tomorrow if you wanted to.